Ankeny's well known for their education system. They just a few years ago had to establish a new high school, as an example. So as a member of the Appropriations Committee, I assume you're right in the middle of money for all public education in Iowa, but particularly concentrating on helping Ankeny.
Exactly right, Senator. We have over 325 different school districts, and each one has a unique need, but the state has done a great job of appropriating state supplemental aid. We've raised that amount just a little over $5,000 a child when I started in the legislature in 2013. Today we're a little over $7,000 a child. That's $750 million additional dollars for K-12 education in the 8 years that I've served in the Iowa House.
And I assume that it has encouraged and benefited teachers getting higher salaries too.
It actually has. We've decreased the number of students per classroom, and because we've hired an additional 3,100 teachers while I've been serving, and we've been able to raise the average teacher pay in Iowa. We're now 6th best in the nation when you factor in the cost of living.
Yeah.
And we're the best in the Midwest. There's no state that offers a better opportunity for public education teachers than Iowa.
Yeah. Ankeny is a suburban, middle-class community, I believe, and what people in those communities tell me they want at the federal level, but I'm sure it's the same thing in the State House of Representatives, they want a healthy and safe environment for them and their kids and everything. And I assume that in the state legislature, you've been able to promote that sort of safety and healthy community.
Well, it's a great question, and you're spot on. Parents expect their kids to be safe when they go to school, and that's been foremost on the legislature's mind and certainly my mind. And one of the things I'm most proud of is the extension of the SAVE portion of the sales tax here in Iowa to allow schools to build infrastructure. And when we changed that up and extended that, we also allowed schools to hire resource officers, and we've asked them to change up their entryways into the individual school buildings so that they're secure. So you've seen lots of schools now just build whole new additions on to the front of these schools to make sure that they have a secure entrance, and only the students and the people that belong there should be in there without having to go through the office and obtain permission to go on into the building.
Getting back to safety in schools, I haven't seen this advertisement against you, but I heard that your opponent wants to say that you're voting for things to put guns in schools.
We have never done that. What we voted on was to allow younger youth to handle handguns with direct parental or adult supervision. So what we're envisioning is a coach of a shooting team, like what Ankeny has been state champion in trap shooting, to allow them to compete at a younger age. And what we did was allow handgun handling to be matched to the same age as rifle and shotguns were already in state law.
But that had nothing to do with bringing guns into the schools.
Oh my gosh, no. It's a total fabrication. Yeah. We would never take up a law like that in the state of Iowa.
The only way that somebody can get that kind of money to run those kind of dishonest ads against you, it must come from outside the state of Iowa. No Iowans would donate to a candidate to spend that kind of money to lie about your votes. And I've heard that Bloomberg, former mayor of New York City, I've heard he's putting money into a lot of campaigns in Iowa, and maybe some of that money's going against you. Are you getting a lot of outside money coming into your race?
Well,
I mean, I doubt if you're getting it for your campaign, but I'll bet you your opponent's getting it.
Well, 96% of the money that I've raised for this campaign, I'm proud to say, has come from Iowans. My opponent, however, would have to tell you from the ethics report that 78% of her money came from out of state and out of country.
Yeah. Well, not only your community colleges are involved in training people for good jobs, and I also know that the governor's involved in promoting good jobs.
Yeah.
And I assume that that takes money from the state legislature. You've probably been involved in that as a member of the Appropriations Committee.
That's exactly right. We do fund community colleges and the Board of Regents, so the 3 state regent universities. But it's been clear that one of the pathways to good jobs is through job training and job skills learned at that. And we really have unmet need in Iowa for those trade type jobs that are well paid and create a good opportunity to raise a family here in central Iowa. So I've supported those, will continue to support those. I think job training is just vitally important as we develop that workforce that will meet the needs of these high technology type manufacturing jobs that we're trying to bring here to Iowa and make Iowa a more competitive state and grow our job base here.
Yeah. We've talked a lot about the legislature appropriating money for this program or that program. It sounds like all we want to do is spend money, but I think what you have followed and the entire Iowa Republican caucus in the State House of Representatives is you get in a dollar, you never spend that whole dollar. That you got a policy of spending 97 or 98% of it and keeping the rest of it in reserve.
Right. We built when I came there, the rainy day fund had been depleted. The emergency funds had been depleted. The previous administration had borrowed a lot of money for an iJobs program, and we have paid as much of those bonds off as we were allowed to by law. We've rebuilt and reestablished the rainy day and the emergency funds. Iowa was ranked the best state in the nation to withstand this COVID pandemic and come back quicker than any other state in job growth.
Yeah.
And I want to emphasize that while we've done that, and we've spent a lot of money, we have kept a balanced budget so that we don't incur debt doing this.
Yeah. At least one of the 2 organizations, national organizations, that have said Iowa's 1 or 2 of the 50, 1 or 2 out of 50 states of the most fiscally sound with their budgeting and tax policies and stuff like that. One of them was the Cato Institute.
Yeah.
I'm very familiar with that organization.
Yeah. Well, they're world renowned, and we certainly like having them take a look at our finances and issuing that kind of report, because it does mean something. It means we've done our job.
Yeah. It was a pleasure for me to be here with you, but more importantly, I want you to know that my endorsement will go beyond just saying I want John Landon reelected to the House of Representatives because he's so fiscally responsible. I'd be happy to do other things for you if you need anything done. Well,
thank you, Senator. I'm just so honored that you would take time to sit down with me and discuss the work that we're doing on behalf of all the citizens of House District 37 and the great state of Iowa. Thank you. Thank you for your service.
Glad to be with you. You bet.